NBA insider Bill Simmons believes that the New York Knicks are going to trade for Mikal Bridges this summer and that they may overpay to do so in order to pair him with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo, the other Nova Knicks. And we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. We're in day 2 of the offseason, and we're still breaking down a ton of potential trade options. We're going to get into some draft stuff in a little bit. But right now, we're just breaking down potential trades. And Bill Simmons believes that Mikal Bridges will be traded from the Nets to the Knicks this summer. And he thinks that that is who the Knicks want. And he thinks that they'll overpay. Now, Simmons did say on the episode of The Ringer that he talked about this, that he just doesn't think the Knicks are really trying to trade for some superstar player. He doesn't think the Knicks believe they need one, which I agree with. And that they just want to really bolster the roster more than anything. And that is exactly what trading for Mikal Bridges does for you. It fixes a ton of roster problems with one move. If you move for Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle's not going to get traded in it, so let's just forget about that. You get a starting 5 of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and probably Isaiah Hartenstein. That is an awesome starting 5. You also get to put Dante DiVincenzo back at the 6th man, which was the initial role that he was coming in to take from Emmanuel Quickley when the Knicks knew that they could pay DiVincenzo less money than Quickley and get virtually similar stats, performance, all that stuff. With all this in mind, I think that the Nets will become more open to trading Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, knowing that they're the team that will give them the best package for Mikal Bridges. Now, at some point, the Nets are going to have to do something. They're stuck in a hole. They're not really going to get better. They're certainly too good to get worse. But they're just going to float around a low-end play-in team that probably doesn't make the playoffs unless they make some weird move. I'd be kind of interested if they traded for, Brandon Ingram or something. But also, this is not Nets Digest, so who cares about the Nets? Long story short, if the Nets can't land Donovan Mitchell or potentially someone like Ingram who might be traded, they're going to look to trade Mikal Bridges because they know they need the assets. The Knicks can give them the Nets assets that were initially not the New York Knicks. And what I'm saying is they can give draft picks that weren't Knicks owned, meaning even if the Nets trade Mikal to the Knicks, forming an essentially perfect team for the Knicks can give back draft picks that will not be affected by where they finish in the seeding. And we're going to go into a mock trade in a little bit because those are always fun. But we all know where Mikal Bridges wants to play. Now, Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges did some friendship lie detector test thing. And Josh Hart said, "Would you ever want me as a teammate again?" And Mikal Bridges said yes, and they laughed about it. It's no secret Mikal Bridges wants to be on the Knicks. He plays for the Nets. The Nets suck. No one cares about them, and people care about the Knicks, who are really good in the same city, have all Mikal's friends. Obviously, Mikal Bridges would rather play for the New York Knicks. Now, when Mikal was on the Roommates podcast, which is Brunson and Josh Hart's, they talked a little bit about just Mikal and being on the Nets and them all being on the Knicks, and Josh Hart trolled and put on his Knicks shirt. And also, Mikal said a bunch of stuff that pissed off Nets fans because they're like, yeah, we know the Knicks are the number 1 team. All that stuff. He was basically just showing that he would prefer to be a Knick than on the Brooklyn Nets. And a bunch of Nets fans were like, you know what, fine, just trade him to the Knicks. Let's just get it over with because that's where he wants to be anyway. And I agree, just trade him to the Knicks because that's where he wants to be anyway. If you take a look at what Mikal said before the 2018 draft, he said, "I thought I was going to go to New York at 9. I was excited, though, because I wanted to go to the Knicks. I wanted to be in New York. I'm like, that's lit. I love MSG. All my best games in college were there." This was said in 2023. Mikal Bridges, since his friends have been on the Knicks, he has wanted to be there also. It's understandable. I would want to be too if I were in his situation. I think any of the other Villanova guys would, depending on whoever it is, though obviously if it were Jalen Brunson, the Nets would just be maybe better than the Knicks, but definitely good and in the playoffs because Jalen Brunson's an NBA superstar. But right now, where everything stands, the Nets are not going to get better, and the Knicks, if healthy, are an Eastern Conference Finals team. Now, if you add Mikal Bridges to that team, if you have that starting 5 that I mentioned earlier of Brunson, Mikal, OG, Randle, and Hartenstein with a bench of, let's say Mitch gets traded somewhere this offseason, or just because of money reasons in this case, you'd get I don't know, maybe Precious or Jericho or some draft pick at 25th or 24th overall as your backup center. And then you got DiVincenzo. You could have Deuce McBride, depending on how trades go. You still could have Mitch. You'd have DiVincenzo and Josh Hart on the bench, though, which is a great 6th and 7th man. That would be a stacked up team. We know that OG's not going anywhere. We know that Randall and Brunson and DiVincenzo and Josh Hart will all certainly be back on the Knicks next season. I think it's a toss-up for some of the other guys. For instance, I think Deuce could be involved in a Mikal Bridges trade. I think Mitchell Robinson could get involved in some sort of deal if the Knicks decide they want to pay Hartenstein. I think Hartenstein could potentially walk in free agency. Essentially, what I'm saying is there's a lot of things that could happen to the Knicks this year, but their core is not going anywhere. The core of the team in the Nova Knicks and Julius Randle and OG Anunoby, those 5 are not going anywhere. Now, the Knicks can add Mikal in that process and just have an unbelievable team. Now, according to a Bleacher Report article that just came out yesterday, he basically Andy Bailey just talked about how it would be a perfect move for the Knicks to get Mikal Bridges because the Knicks are already a plus 8.8 per 100 possessions when all 3 Nova Knicks were on the floor. There's a real connection between them, and they kind of can anticipate where each other will be. They work so well together. We saw it all season long. This team just works. You add Mikal Bridges, he's going to fit into the mold perfectly. He just will. And I mean, this season, was he the most efficient he's been? No, but he's having to play a role that he doesn't fit in. He's having to be the best player on a team, which is not Mikal Bridges' role. It made his defense a lot worse, and it made his offense less efficient. He still put up 19.5 points per game with 4.5 rebounds and 3.5 assists and shot 37% from deep. It's not like he had an overall bad season at all, but he had a different season for Mikal Bridges. He did not have a Mikal Bridges season. Now, you put him on the Knicks, yeah, that points per game is probably going to drop to like 15, 16 as he'd be the third option. But the defense would be elite. He'd be next to OG Anunoby. That'd be the best wing defense in the NBA by a mile. You end up keeping Hartenstein or Mitch. Either way, you have an elite defensive big man. The Knicks are in perfect position to trade for Mikal Bridges. It fully matters on if the Nets' ego is going to get in their own way. Because if it doesn't, the Nets are going to get the best possible trade package for Mikal Bridges. The Knicks are going to get the perfect fit for them. Sorry. And I think when you put this all together, the Knicks could form a championship team, and the Nets could get assets back that won't be hindered by the Knicks winning a lot of basketball games. Now, I could see this is arguably an overpay as it is. I think if the Knicks wanted to give a trade that was the best possible deal the Nets could get, you give him Bogdanovich for contract reasons, then you put Deuce McBride in there, you pair him next to Cam Thomas. That's a pretty awesome pairing for Cam Thomas. And then you give him that Detroit protected pick, which the protections are going to diminish on as years go by. You give him Dallas's 24th overall pick, and you give the Knicks their 2027 first-round top 8 protected. Now, yeah, maybe the Knicks will want to just give Bojan, and you throw in the Obi Toppin trade exception or something, and then you add another first-rounder, or maybe 2 first-round pick swaps or something like that, and I'd be fine with that also. I think the Knicks are in position to do stuff like that because if they get Mikal Bridges and keep the core, they're probably going to win an NBA championship. But I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below. What do you want the Knicks to do? Do you want them to go for Mikal Bridges? Do you like that trade? Give me your trades in the comments down below. If they involve Julius Randle and picks, well, I don't know what to tell you because Julius is just better than him. But guys, you know how it goes. Taj Gibson for president. Let's have a great off season. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Have a great day and go Knicks.